Dudes, welcome back. Welcome to part 87 of getting Mom's Kitchen AV done. We have arrived at the shop on a Sunday, and here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna take this speaker and mount it upside down. So I think the easiest thing to do with this is mount it into a piece of plastic and then mount that piece of plastic to the underside of the cabinet. So it comes with this Torx screw, which in my home toolbox, I don't believe I have. So that's strike one, I need to get that. Obviously the plastic I need to get cut. And we need a few other tools. So let's get going. So despite having this gigantic monster of a machine that cuts for us all day, we're gonna use the table saw. And for plastic, we're gonna use marine grade plastic because, well, it's great. So the saw boys are really good at organizing everything, like almost to an obsessive degree of neatness. Like for example, here are case sides that are cut nice and neatly and stacked up. So they do that with all of our drop material too. So even when you're looking at scrap, like this is Baltic, these are all drops. Those angels write the size of the scrap that's over here, or the drop, so that if they're cutting more parts out of it, they don't have to measure, they just know. So we are gonna be using the table saw to cut this today. It's kind of hilarious that all cases that LM used to be cut on this saw. This is the original Rockwell saw from the 80s. I think they even bought it used in the 80s. So over the years, they built this insanely huge custom-built table. So this is all welded steel, and this is actually press board on top. Not press board like you think. This is die board that's like $2,000 worth of plastic on the top of this. This is specifically meant to go into a press. And to be a layer for when you're hitting die. So they built the world's most hugely overkill table. So I'm gonna get this thing measured and cut. All right, so here's the final piece. And this is what we need to do. Now you can take your several $100 mounts and replace them with just a piece of plastic. So this is a M5 metric Torx screw that requires the T25 Torx bit, and that thing is super solid. And the cool thing is about leaving that thing as a center mount only is you can turn the speakers. So now that we have this done, this was an hour round trip to do about 15 minutes worth of work. That's, man, that's awesome. All right, back to the house. I'm actually more prepared for this than I thought. So check it out. Here's our mount piece. This will go right under there just like that. So I found in the basement that I have another one of these jacks, which why I would spec this as black and not white, I have no idea, but hey. But I actually did find another keystone plate with another two cats in there. So I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is get this box terminated and everything wired nice and neat in there. And then I think I'm gonna go clean the rack up in the basement before we start mounting anything. So here we go on that. All right, look at that. All nice and pretty. Now again, I don't know what drugs I was on to have 1 out of the 6 keystones be white, the inserts be black, all of the 4 keystone inserts to be black and 1 to be blue. So this was enough time ago that I don't remember. Was this a move of desperation? Was this a move of ignorance? I have no idea. Will it be covered and no one see it? Also, yes. Will my mom probably see it and hate it? Also, probably yes. But these are the gambles that we take, y'all. These are the gambles that we take. Anyway, on to the basement. Okay, so we got some stuff labeled here. So officially, we have WAN. This is coming in from the other room. They are still running everything here on coax. No fiber yet. This is the cable box injector, and here are all 6 of the kitchen jacks. So all we really have to do is just patch these in, and everything will be good. So I'm going to start with K1 and K2. These are going to be our PoE lines for the speakers. So I'm actually going to build these patch cables right now and label them because I'm psychotic. Okay, and now we have taken the time to custom build 2 patch cables so that we can insert these heat shrink labels that say K2 kitchen, Sonos right, and K1 kitchen, Sonos left, so that eventually when these are tied down with a lacing bar, they'll look like this. Is that obsessive? Yes, it is. Is it a little bit of a juxtaposition here between messy and neat? Yes, but, well, welcome to the Billy channel. It's weird. We get weird here. All right, so now we're going to go upstairs and we're going to get the speakers mounted and we're going to start to get some cable terminated. Okay, the speakers and Silvox TV. I will never let this go that my mother bought something called a Silvox. Despite LM being a dealer on nearly everything, we had to have this Deborah Vance QVC special. So anyway, here are the speakers. They are mounted so that you can stand here and watch TV. When we were kids, we had a little baby Sharp, like 13-inch TV that was right here, and all of us would just eat and watch TV. So here's what's going on as far as the install goes. So we are using 5 of our Cat 6 jacks back here. So there was a method to my madness. The blue and the white ones that were in there were actually for the transmitter receiver boxes. So each one of the speakers is powered over Ethernet, so that's 2. There are 2 transmitter receivers there, so I can send eARC down to the basement. And then there is another one for the TV. So we have 1 more jack underneath there. So that's what we're up to with this. So we are going to, if you look at it just like this, it's perfect. And if you look at it right off to the side, you can see all the power things. So I'm going to get the eARC set up in the basement, and then we can see if this actually works. Oh, and I do have a little IR blaster right here for whatever the heck that other box is. We'll just say my mom's pirating TV. It's more fun for the narrative. Oh, sad face. Well, both of the HDMI extenders that I have do not support eARC. So I have 2 different HDMI extenders from 2 different brands, and neither of them support eARC. So after I just factory reset every Sonos device in this kitchen to re-update and do all of that kind of thing, because for whatever reason it was just no longer finding itself on my phone because Sonos, but that's okay. Actually, I did talk to Sonos when I was at Infocom, and I said it would be really cool if you guys could have a installer-specific app for people who actually do installs. You know, so that you could config a system or get into a system and then hand it off to an owner. So like with this particular system, I don't know if I handed this off to my parents or not. It can see the system, but I don't have admin access to it, so I just reset it all. So unfortunately, we had to pull Joanne's Silvox TV down. So good thing is they have these available from Uncle Jeff. So I ordered one, and it will be here tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Day 2, welcome to the Thunderdome. So it is interesting. This thing actually does say HDMI, eARC, eARC audio extender. So, alas, I never use these things. I think we have one set for our security cameras at the shop, but that's it. This is definitely showing that I am not a residential installer. And I'm more on the touring side of things for my ignorance for home theater kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to get this all sorted out. We'll get the extender swapped out, and hopefully this thing will just work. All right, 3rd time's the charm. Will the eARC EX300K be the box that works? I hope so. Oh my God, can these not be mounted? Hilarious. So, all right, we'll get these rocking and report back. Oh my God, we have finally got it working. 3 converter boxes later. Now, there's a heck of a delay that's happening between all these sources, so we're gonna get that dialed in. So after I've done torturing everybody with now jungle noises, We had a bit of a problem with Sonos getting stuff ready. We can basically set these two Era 100 speakers up as a stereo pair, which is the ideal way. The rear speakers back here that are in the ceiling are also a stereo pair with the sub permanently grouped to them. The problem is that if you're only watching TV, these will work as simultaneous left and rights, and they will also accommodate a delay time between all of them so that there's not that slap effect on the audio. The problem is, as soon as you want to put music to the system, it breaks the group. And I haven't quite figured out how to do that. And even after a substantial amount of ChatGPTing this problem, I can't figure it out. So the only way that I can make this reliably work for my mother, who's not quite in Luddite territory yet, but getting there, who will never take the time to group speakers, is just to set these two Era speakers up as surrounds. So unless you're playing true 5.1 content, you won't really hear these. There's not a noticeable effect of them on. Doing this ridiculous 5.1 Atmos jungle surround sound test in the kitchen is actually awesome. So we technically don't have a 5.1 channel. We have a system. We have a 4.1 system because there's no center channel, but it does a nice job of summing everything together. So as far as playing music goes, coverage in here is wild. It's really, really good. Speech things for my mom watching the news and or baseball, I think that it's probably fine. So yeah, all we have to do now is get the rack neatened up, and this portion is done. Okay, so after a bit of a disruption in service here, everything is working correctly. So to start, for those of you who are triggered in the last video, I did replace our connection cable with an SFP, and here is the nightmare that is the rack. So I unfortunately am out of time today, and I feel like this video is getting a bit long, so I'm not going to make a nice little time-lapse detail on this, but one of the reasons why we need to get this done so quickly is that we're actually working on the rest of the house. So they are remodeling their family room, and they are also remodeling their master bathroom, both of which have speakers and under cabinet lighting and all kinds of other stuff in there. So it's going to be a pretty eventual project. So as much as I would love to make this excuse, which I'm going to make, I don't want to make this rack too neat because we're going to have to pull it all apart again because we are going to be using the new 8-channel Sonos amplifier in here to power the rest of the house. So that's going to have to go in here. So here's a quick tour of what's going on. This box right here is the HDMI extender that powers Joanne's pirated baseball box, which is currently working upstairs. We have an IR blaster in there that is allowing this thing to live in the rack in the basement, which lets the counter be nice and clean. What else? Okay, and this is our HDMI eARC extender box that is going to the amplifier. So when we finally got everything working upstairs, the whole sound system just went offline. So I don't know if that's a DHCP issue, but a power cycle of the rack just brought everything back. So I don't know. Maybe we have to set up VLANs or at least static IPs for that stuff. I don't know what's going on. So to wrap this video, I'll show you what the counter looks like now, and I'm just going to leave this super triggering image just burned into your minds because I know that you guys are dying. It goes against everything I believe in. Look, these orange cables are monoprice cables, and to even trigger you more, here are the cables that I made specifically that the heat shrink isn't shrunk. That's right. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. All right, let's go upstairs. You guys ready for some gentle house music? Here you go. So by the grace of God here, these speakers are in fact working with whatever pirated thing she is using here. I guess I should probably stop saying that. I don't know if it is actually pirated or not. Ooh, there's one little cable that's hanging down back there. This is what this all looks like. This has been an interesting thing to wire with everything crammed back up there. I have to neaten that up. But for all intents and purposes, this is what she wanted, a small under cabinet TV. So it's all working. So look, the remote even works. Here, this is the TV remote. Ooh, so nice. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm sure you guys will have questions and comments, and if so, just leave them below. Catch you guys on the next one.